Before we get started on today's video, I want to make sure I give a shout out to my YouTube channel members, my Giga Chads. Shout out to Staying Young. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting me and thank you for supporting the channel. For those considering being a YouTube channel member, you will get a shout out on every full YouTube video every single time one drops. There are some changes coming really soon. If you haven't done so and you can, please consider it. But let's get straight to today's video. Hello everyone, it is your boy Winster and I am back at it again with another video. I hope that you are having an amazing day and thank you for supporting channel. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, and be sure to turn on the notification bell if you are. How else are you guys going to stay up to date with all the content that drops on this channel? And while you're at it, please check out the description box. I have a very active Discord community. There's like over 200 people in there. Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. Everything is going to be in the description box down below, so make sure to check that out. We're currently going through a giveaway right now into the end of August 2024. If you guys want to partake, we are giving away an infinite forbidden playmat. I'll go ahead and card the video somewhere on screen, that way you guys could be updated on how to win that. But let's jump into today's discussion video. So the topic on today's discussion video, I've been wanting to do this topic in this video for quite some time. It hit me maybe a couple months ago. I went to a local, ended up getting clapped up really bad, and I was probably playing the best deck at the time. And I was just so extremely salty, but for the life of me, my salty drive home, I was trying to understand, why did I feel so bad about losing the way I did? Is it because I just got clapped up with the best deck and it kind of seems that I don't know how to play it? Is it because I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh? So many things were running through my head, and then it hit me. Why does it hurt so much to lose in this game? And that is today's topic. Why does it hurt so much to lose in Yu-Gi-Oh? Before I continue on, let me not take away the saltiness of other TCGs like Pokemon, Magic, Larcana, Digimon, One Piece. The list could go on. If there's a TCG, I'm sure that there is a salty player in that TCG that does not know how to lose and no one likes to play against. But coming from a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I really wanted to analyze, why does it hurt so much to lose in this game? I have a couple topics that I'm going to be touching base on, and then at the end I'll go ahead and give you my overall thoughts, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with the question. So all the topics that I'm going to touch base on are my personal experiences with Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, what the game and the anime meant for me, right? As a kid, I didn't have a lot growing up. I did grow up in like poverty, so it was definitely like an escape for me, right? And as with all the other cartoons that were on TV, right, I paid those far more attention than I ever did than what was actually going on in my life as a kid. And not only that, I also got to experience watching this show with my friends. We would wake up super early in the morning just so we could like meet up and watch it together. And this memory will never be able to be erased from my mind. I remember to this day, I had a friend, his name was Cody, and I remember the night before, or like the afternoon before, I was at his house hanging out, and him and his mom were arguing, or I guess not even arguing, but he was explaining how he needs to watch his shows tomorrow morning and how Eric is going to come in the morning so we could watch it together. And the fact that he called it his shows was just the funniest thing to me, and I can never erase that memory from my head. But that meant a lot to me. I was able to hang out with my friends and then play the game, given I only knew as much as the anime showed me. And in the same way, that's how much I actually knew how to play the game in IRL. Given we all had our playground rules as a kid, we all just made up rules as we played along. I'm sure that somewhere out in the world, maybe not me, but someone activated Pot of Greed and drew like 5 cards, or they could activate it on their opponent's turn, and I'm sure that they stacked their deck and cheated some way. But those were all great memories for me, and I think that does play a role in how I feel about when it comes to losing. Now, fast forward to my adult life, where I have a lot more commitment as compared to when I was a kid, where I only had school and chores to commit to, and now I have a full-time job, I have a relationship, I have family, friends outside of the TCG, I have work, I have so many things to commit to, and thankfully Yu-Gi-Oh is a card game where they do drop consistent content. Maybe it's not the best cards, maybe it's not the best set, but there's always at least within every few months new sets dropping, and with that comes with all the reading and making sure that I could understand how these cards interact with the current format, how it interacts with my deck, and making sure that my opponent plays those cards right. So understanding the rulings, one has to invest so much time just to be able to play at least as a somewhat competitive level, because you have to stay up to date. So time, in my personal opinion, is also a huge investment, not just like the sentimental part as a kid growing up watching the anime, but you have to invest so much time into this game to at least play it a little bit competitive. I'm not saying you have to go fully out. There is definitely casual formats. So now that we talked about the sentimental value of investment and the time investment that we've already placed into the game, I think another very important topic is the money investment. Unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh is a very expensive game, or at least in the TCG. The game in OCG has multiple printings of multiple cards. Considering they may have a market where the competition's a bit more fierce, right? The big three, maybe the big four here in the States are Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, and maybe Larcana, and maybe One Piece. But over there, they just have so many TCGs where Yu-Gi-Oh is required to be printed in those multiple form prints. That way it's a lot more accessible. So maybe they know that we also like capitalism, I don't know, but that makes it really expensive to play this game. For example, cards from main sets can take some time, if not years, to be reprinted. A good example, back in the day when Product Prosperity only had one printing, it was a very expensive card, and I think it took about 2 years for that card to get a reprint. Now it got a reprint in Rarity Collection, and even then that card is a little expensive. I would say for a super rare it's like $5, maybe even more the last time I checked. But we have to invest so much money to these cards, which makes it that much more harder when we lose. We invested all the sentimental value, the money value, and the time value only to get bodied. Now, my overall thoughts, learning to lose is extremely important in anything. And from my opinion, more so in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you have all of these investments. And I remember when I first started playing really competitive in this game, I just felt like I couldn't lose and I shouldn't lose. I had that mentality where I'm just too good and I shouldn't be losing to anyone, no matter the deck, no matter the matchup. I should always have the out, considering how much time I invested, how much this means to me as a kid, and how much money I've already invested into this card game. But all those dreams were shattered. I got humbled up really quick whenever I went to my local, and I think it hit me the most when I went to one of my locals, and a player named Jay ended up humbling me up very quick. It just hurt so much to lose against the Jay, and on top of it all, he was a super nice guy and still is a super nice guy. But playing him has always motivated me. I see the reaction and the energy that I gave off when I was losing, and I really hated that energy. I really hated that side of me, and I just was like, you know what? I have to be a nicer me, because what happens when I win and everything goes my way? I bet you on the opposite end, it just feels awful, right? So I would hate to amplify that to make someone feel bad for winning. And that's why I always like try to focus on the positive aspects, right, of getting clapped up at my local. Just recently, I went to PGL, my Phoenix Gaming Lounge, a local here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I learned something new, and I learned a new combo line. Shout out to the player, he was showing me Fiendsmith, Snake Eye, and a better combo line that I was already doing. I always try to take it to try to learn something, and I learned something that day, and it felt good. It felt like, wow, now I could really step up my level, and not only step myself up, but step up my community that I go to. Amazing Discoveries, they're able to learn this matchup, they're able to learn a lot. I love helping my community grow, because then they make me better. Again, those are my thoughts and opinions on the matter. I wanted to share those with you because this has been on my mind, and I'm glad that I finally took the time to make this video. But I wanted to get your guys' opinions. How do you guys deal with loss in Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you feel like my opinions are valid? The sentimental, money, and time. I want to get your guys' opinions. Why do we get so salty in Yu-Gi-Oh? Make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. But until next time, my name is Winster, and you guys have a phenomenal day. Thank you for watching.